Uy guys, ito sa Ivy Art Gallery. Kung nandang daw yung mga painting para nandang ako na-learn yung mga hambal ni Ma'am Sumagay-say wala sa yumuan.
Ang inang conceptive kag objective.
Hindi, conceptual kag
Objective.
Ang may mga designs, may mga intricate, tigkatama.
Oh my God, friends, ang door na wala. Oh my God.
Krizzanie, Joshua, Graziele, Patrick, at ikaw rin, Ivy. Ako, Big Brother Newble. At dahil on leave ngayon ang aking kapatid, ako ay kanyang inatasan na ipating sa inyo na kayong lima ay nagkasala. Maglabag ng batas ng sigidakratan na hindi ko uli ng libro sa tandang oras.
Bilang parusa, hindi kayo makakalabas at hindi ninyo may sasagawa ang kanilang task ni Glenn. Kailangan ninyong ipaliwanag ang kaibahan ng objective at conceptual reality. Good luck sa inyo, mga explorer ng bayan.
The first is Michelangelo's David. Traditionally, David was portrayed after his victory triumphant over Goliath. Michelangelo has depicted David before the battle. David is tense but not so much in a physical as in a mental sense. The slingshot he carries over his shoulder emphasizes that David's victory was one of cleverness and not sheer force. It is an example of an objective reality because it captures David's visual appearance as a young man with veins on the hand and neck, the bulge of the muscles in his torso, and even the knuckles and nails of the fingers, aside from the usual details of the face, body, and limbs. These intricate details give us an idea that David was a man built for battle.
The second one is Man Pointing by Alberto Giacomet. He elongates the limbs and body until it appears almost like a beanstalk. The man stands upright and his legs appear almost wire-like. They are lengthy compared to the torso, which seems frail and skeletal. Meanwhile, the outstretched arms are thin and long, and this serves to add a strange contrast to such a monolithic piece. The whole structure looks somewhat fragile, as though it could collapse at any moment. In contrast to Michelangelo's David, the distortion of the body parts and the core structure of Pointing Man symbolizes the decaying flesh as a symbolic articulation of emotional emptiness and spiritual death of the 20th century man. The almost featureless face is also an expression of modern man's loss of self and identity.
The next one is The Diwata ng Dagat by national artist Professor Napoleon G. Abueva. The Diwata is an example of conceptual reality because she is sculpted with long and enormous legs and big hips and bust that is unproportional with the rest of her body. She is a strong and determined woman standing on fishes and pulling a fishnet, which symbolizes the philosophy and aspiration of the university through its College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences. The Diwata symbolizes the indomitable spirit of the faculty, researchers, and students of CPOT and reflects consciousness of sustainable stewardship of God-given resources, creativity, and cultural relevance in planning and implementation of programs in the fields of aquaculture, capture, and coast-guarded fisheries, fisheries policy formulation, and allied disputes.
The next one is the Black Tattoo in the University of the Philippines by Guillermo Tolentino. The completely nude figure of a young man with open arms and hands, with tilted head, closed eyes, and parted lips, murmuring a prayer with the breast forward in the act of offering himself to the interpretation of his ultimo adios. It symbolizes all the unknown heroes who fell during the war. The statue stands on a rustic base, a stylized rug shaped from the Philippine archipelago, lined with big and small hard rocks, each of which represents an island. A leaf or a piece of it, thrown anywhere, will sprawl into a young plant. Hence, it symbolizes the deep-rooted patriotism in the heart of our heroes. Such patriotism continually and forever grows anywhere in the Philippines.
Now we have Amorsolo's Return of the Fisherman. It is an example of objective reality as it shows a realistic scene of an ordinary fisherman coming home after a whole day of fishing. The scene is in Manila Bay and Mount Samat on Bataan is the island in the background. A coconut palm shelters the incoming bangka or boat while nipa huts and bangkas are on the right. The three figures beach the boat and prepare to bring in day's catch. The glowing sky and the misty mountain are the focal elements in the composition. They embody a landscape filled with peace and serenity.
The last one is the work of the famous Salvador Dali. The painting depicts barren swamps with three beautiful swans that seems to give a depressing aura. It is an example of conceptual reality as it portrays a contrast between the beauty of the swans and the hollowness of the barren land. Swans are known to be beautiful creatures, but the gloomy impression of the place does not give the swans beauty the appreciation it deserves.
Mga scholar ng bayan, nakita ko ang iyong pagbubursige at determinasyon. Napagtagumpayan ninyo ang aking nilang pagsubok. Ngayon, maaari na kayong lumabas ng art gallery. Nawaldoonin ninyo ang inyong mga natutunan at inyong ang bigyan ko halaga ang sini.
I have learned that conceptual reality is when artists wanted to convey emotions, and usually, the artist resorts to distortion.
I have learned that conceptual reality is characterized by abstract ideas and concepts.
I have learned that conceptual reality emphasizes the actual implications of the relationship in the phenomenology in our daily life.
I have learned that objective reality is a reality that can be perceived by senses.
I have learned that the way of representing objective reality will be naturalistic in opposition to the skyline.
And then lastly, we have learned that art is not only about the expression of our perception, but also a form of communicating our experiences in life.